Hello everybody, we're going to take a look at the Fatty V3 clone. This was purchased from fasttech. I believe the manufacturer is hotcig. Could be wrong. Ran somewhere around $10. It is all stainless steel. It's 22 mil dripper. Although the airflow control ring does stick out another mil, making that 23 mil. Let me show you on this real quick. This is the L cap and it's a 22 mil mod. And you can see how it meets up right there. Now this clone does have Chris Creation 3 logo there. I didn't think the real one had that. Could be wrong, I don't know. This is not the clone of the updated V3 that has the extra Delrin insulator. And you guys I hope you guys can forgive me. I just tried to do a whole video. I broke the thing apart and even built the coil I have in there right now during the video, and I don't know what happened. I can't get it to open. So I'm going to do this over again. I'm not going to do the build. I'm not going to rip the thing apart because there is a lot of pieces to this and it can be fiddly. And if you're not willing, I'm not going to say if you're not willing. If you're new to rebuildables, I would probably recommend to look elsewhere, something maybe like a Trident clone or one of the agate drippers, something like that. Much easier to work with, because I've even learned the hard way that if you put this thing together wrong, bad things will happen. And I don't know if you could see that, probably not. I doubt it, but there's a little black spot right there. And there's another one or two around there. Well, there's another one right there that I'm sure you can't see. But I had it put together kind of wrong, pins in the wrong spot. Hit the button on my on the mod, and sparks. I kid you not, it started welding itself to the air control ring. I had to break it apart. It wasn't like a heavy weld, but I had the pins going the wrong way, so I had just a dead short setup, and it was entirely user error. It was not the fault of this at all. But if you want to know how to put it together and how all the parts work, Todd has a really good review on one. The only difference between this version 1 clone and the updated version that he has is a black Delrin disc. His has 2, this one only has 1. Everything else is exactly the same. This does come with this drip tip. You also get a little baggie here at the screwdriver, and yeah, you're seeing right, a piece of mesh. Inside that mesh, I believe there's a piece of silica wick. Well, there's definitely a piece of silica wick in the mesh, but I believe there's also a piece of Canthal. I haven't even bothered to open it. I got so many of those. And you'll get it in your little black Made in China box. Let me. The air control ring now. The way I have it set up, this can still be moved, and it actually has a really nice resistance, so it doesn't flop around. The air hole, I believe that's 2.5 or a 3 mil air hole, but it feels, it's kind of, matter of fact, that I'm getting the same findings with this that Todd got in his review of the authentic one. It feels more along the line of maybe a 1.5 mil air hole, which to me it's actually perfect. The draw is actually, I love it. It's perfect for me. Top cap screws on. And my favorite feature about this dripper, and this is how I've been set up. Hopefully you can see under there the holes under the coil. They're directly under there. and they're actually spread out in the way so you're hitting every single part of the coil, and it produces just a really intense, full-bodied, moist flavor. It's the vapor production is really good. The flavor is, this has to be probably the best flavor I've ever gotten out of a dripper. Now, I have not tried all the drippers, but and this is just my experience with it. But the flavor in this is phenomenal. I get good flavor out of my Trident clones. I really like those. The Mortalizer has really good flavor. Stuff like that. Never was a big fan on any of the U drippers, but this it blows flavor wise, blows all of them out the water. It's not gonna chuck out vapor like the Trident clones or anything, but you get a good amount of vapor. But the flavor, all the pain in the butt, post and falling apart stuff, or all the extra pieces on the inside, are so worth dealing with just for the flavor from this. It's really impressive. Now, I've been using 3 pieces of, what is that? I think 2 mil silica I have in here, and I just triple them over each other, and I use 28 gauge Canthal, 4 wraps, and I just try to set it up directly over the air hole. And there's your positive and negative contacts. You can use a little Phillips head screw. You can also use your fingers. Now with this though, you are going to have to either use a little pair of pliers or a screwdriver though, because those need to be tightened down extremely tight in order to get this base to squeeze down on this air control ring enough to stop it from just flopping all over. Because hopefully you can see that there. That's the negative post. That hole is for the negative post, which comes up here, and that's what holds the whole thing together. So when you undo that post and undo this post, it basically just kind of wobbles around until you screw everything back down tight. It's a really interesting setup. I don't get why they would do that. I don't. And if it was a different, I understand it's a clone, so they have nothing to do with how it was originally designed. But if Chris Creations would have used a different way, this could, just my opinion, could easily be one of the best drippers I've ever used. I mean, functionally wise, it's already one of the best flavor wise, and this is just the clone. And because of that, I do have to get a real one now. Just I can't like the clone this much and not support the real one, because the vape is just outstanding. Now I've been using 28 gauge Canthal, just 4 little wraps, set it up right over the air hole, and then when I put the cap on, sorry for all the glare, but I take my wicks. And I don't even trim them or anything. I just take them and shove them in the side over here. And I do the same with this one. I just shove them over here. It is a little easier when you got juice on them and stuff. But I've just been setting them up basically like that. If you can see that little S design up there. Screw the cap back on. I'm getting 20-30 drops of e-liquid in here, no problem. Vapes away the thing. It really has just been working a dream. I hate saying that, but it's just been working so good. I have not had a single issue besides ones that I created for myself. But it screws on to every single mod. Let's see if I can get this going a little bit. So I'll tuck my wicks to the side, just like that, just like the S. Get my cap. Make sure I don't have any wick sticking out, and the threads aren't the smoothest, but they're not bad by any means. I guess a piece of piece of wick came through or something, I don't know. They're not bad by any means. And then, see, hopefully you can see that, like how tight everything is up against that top cap. It is such a tight fit that it looks almost like, it looks like it would be a really big chamber, but it's not. It's one of the smallest chamber drippers I've seen. The wick is right there, and I originally thought having the coil that close to where the drip tip is, I'd be getting really hot splashes of juice in my mouth, but not one single problem at all. It's just worked great. I'm gonna put some e-liquid in there, and again, I've been able to, with that wick setup, I've been able to get a good deal of juice in there, no problem at all. Let's see if I either made a giant short or something that'll vape. And we got something that vapes. Good stuff. I have no idea what the resistance is. I know the last one I made was almost 1 ohm, and it was vaping just astonishingly. It really blew my mind, because I did not expect to get the vape I was going to get off of such a high resistance. I'm usually around 0.5, 0.6, and it was just an incredible vape. The flavor of this thing, it's not a really strong throat hit. It's like again, this is my opinion, but it's smooth. You get throat hit, you get loads and loads of flavor. The airflow wide open. It's not, you're not going to be taking these huge lung inhales, but it has to be, I guess, a 1.5 mil feel. Even though that looks to be close, more like 3 mil, you're not going to get all that. So there you go. That's the Fatty V3 clone. If it was not for that ring, oh, I'd be so happy. It would be perfect fit. I might have to find another ring to work on this or something. Maybe even take the ring off. I don't know. Not sure I really need the ring anyway. But this is just my opinion on the clone. If you want to learn how to the inner parts and all this stuff, watch Todd's review for the authentic one. And just remember that this is not going to come with both of the black Delrin pieces. You will get one with the 2 screw holes, but you will not get the second one for the bottom part, for underneath the little deck part. Just like his, there's a little channel that sits right above this air hole that's supposed to hold juice. He said he had problems with his leaking when he was putting a lot in. I've been able to load this thing up with juice. I've been using this heavily, extremely heavily, for the past 3 days now. Not had one single leak, not one. But then I haven't been trying to load in 40 drops. I'll put in 20, 30 tops, and I've been throwing in 20 at a time, and never had it flood. So I don't really know what that's about. Again, for $10, I don't think there's a better dripper out there. Period. The shortcomings, as long as you can remember where your screws go, you will be fine. It's not going to be an issue. Make sure you tighten everything down securely. And Again, my opinion, but it provides one of the best flavors I've ever had from a dripper. I'm just bear in mind I'm not a huge dripper fan because I don't seem to get flavors that matches some of the tanks that I like it. But the flavor from this is just in your face. It is there. There's no denying it, and I have to give credit where credit's due to the original designer for this one. If only they'd find a better way to hold the Addy together. This would be a win. I'm still gonna spend the money and get a real one. I hope you guys found some of that helpful. Again, watch Todd's review for a detailed build for detailed inside pics. I tried to do that for you. I don't know where I messed up along the line, but I just had it all together, and it shows that yes, this thing can be a pain sometimes, and the fact that I didn't want to do it again confirms that it really is. It, it's a lot of parts for a dripper. Just put it that way. And if you feel overwhelmed by a bunch of little parts, then stay away from this one. If you're all about the vape though, this is worth giving a shot. And at $10, you can't go wrong. And I don't think anyone would regret trying one of these out. Again, here you go, Fatty V3 on the El Captain mod. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a great weekend.